Hi, good morning, and welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode... Did I do it again? It's 989. Now I'm second guessing myself, thinking it's 989 or 990. I think it's 989. If anybody wants to correct me or confirm that I'm right or wrong, I would appreciate it. I believe it's 989. Just second guessed myself for a second. Yes, happy Friday. Hi, Leona. Hi, Donna. Hi, Julie. Hi, Grace. Good morning. Hi, Thea. Parking seemed minimal in the area around the enchanted driftwood forest, so we're in my favorite spot today. Hi, Sean, Thea, Val, Judy. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you, Thea. Welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 989. 989. We have 11 to go before the 1000th episode, and we will talk about that today. If you are joining me live, please say hello. Let me know if you're crafting this morning. Let me know if you have questions for me, or just say hi. We are here live in Southwest Florida at the beach at sunrise in the enchanted driftwood forest. The water is calm and beautiful behind me. There are some crazy sandbar islands out here that I'm excited to show you this morning, but there's a few things I want to talk about as well. Hi, Jackie, Leona, Donna, Julie. Hi, Lori. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully you have set aside some time for self-care this weekend to relax or do something that brings joy to your heart. Hi, Hands That Rock. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a great day so far. This is so pretty here. This is one of my favorite spots. In fact, before we even get started on everything I wanted to talk to you about today, I've got to show you the beach. It is so cool. Hi, Nora and Joan. Okay, I'm gonna flip the camera around. Okay, so look at where I'm sitting. I tucked myself in to the driftwood forest. Look at how tucked in I am. I tripped, of course. First I tripped on the driftwood, and then I walked over it. I literally couldn't walk in here without stepping over it. There is no easy access, which I thought was so cool. Anyway, so this is my view. And then if we turn around here, you can see the beach here, and there are so many little sandbar islands. You see that one over there? We could probably walk to that one. We could, probably could. And then see where those people are out there? There's an actual exposed sandbar island. About half, those people are about midpoint between me and where the sandbar island is. Can you see it? Can you see where that is? Looks like there's a little one right there too, straight ahead. Oh, and another one. Oh, okay. Even if I don't get to everything we're gonna talk about today, I'm really excited to see all this. Anytime Mother Nature shows us a little something different at the beach, you know that comes first. And we can talk about other things while I walk. You don't necessarily have to see my face to know that I'm talking with all of you. This is so exciting. All right, this is exciting too. Look at all this. Nothing happened to these trees. This is driftwood. This is driftwood, and they're all wet. So that's why they look darker, if that's what you're asking. And see, there's seaweed in them and they're dark. It's because of all the storms we've had lately. They're completely saturated with water. As you may recall, the driftwood trees here are often very white or very sun-bleached, let's say. And so because of all the storms we've had lately, they're super saturated with water and covered in seaweed. Those are not normally this dark. It's because of the water. They've been underwater. Okay, so as you can see, there's some islands straight out that way. There's an island here. There's another island out there at the buoy. I don't know how deeply you'd have to walk in water to get out to any of them. And I am in jeans today. If this one's shallow, I will try it. I could even roll up my jeans if I need to. This one looks pretty shallow. yeah, I'm just gonna roll up my jeans if you don't mind. Here, let's see what I'm doing. Okay, that ought to do. Okay, we've got to walk out to an island, right? Oh, it's a little chilly. Probably won't walk out to that next one. It looks like the water probably gets deep in between these two. But, well, let's look anyway. I just think the color looks like it gets deep up here. I'll try though. And we'll definitely, oh! Chilly. You know what? I think it's gonna get deep before it gets shallow, and I do not feel like risking my phone. So we'll go back to this island. So as you can see, this is an island, 360 degrees, surrounded by water. And we're on an island. Isn't that cool? Let's go all the way out to the tip of the island. Why not? You know, I used to say that my childlike fascination with things was because I was the mother of a young child. But now that Marlon's grown, I still have a childlike fascination with things. So, well, I guess it's me. Okay, so now you can see I am 360 degrees on a little island. I know it's just a sandbar, but still fun. Still fun. So anyway, as we walk back, and you can enjoy all of these incredibly beautiful scenes as I walk back. But look at over here. If I did walk further out, there's a whole bunch of it right there. That is so cool. Gosh, I feel bad for any boats that we're gonna go by. If the buoy telling you how to get into the inlet is on a sandbar, that does not seem very safe. And that's probably why those boats are out there. They look like they're the dredging kind of boats, the ones that dig channels and stuff. I could be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. All right, so I'm pretty sure I walked at the narrowest part here, so hopefully I don't fall in. Because you know how it goes when you walk past the sandbar, you really have no idea how deep it's going to get. And so I always try to pick the shortest distance between them, because that's usually where it's the most shallow. I've walked to sandbars before without a camera and actually had gone over my head and, not fallen, but I guess kind of fallen into a trench. It does happen. I knew it wasn't going to happen like that drastically right here. Over in the inlet it can, though. There's a really deep drop off over there. I do not walk into the water there. All right, let's see if I can remember how far I walked. Must have walked a ways. I don't even see my stuff yet. Although my stuff is tucked into the trees, so we'll find it. Anyway, so we started the episode mentioning that today is the 989th episode, and one of the things that I wanted to remind you of, and I'll send out an email today as well, so if you're on my mailing list, I'll explain it in more detail there. But I just wanted to let you know that as I'm mapping out where the next 10 episodes will actually be on the calendar, I realize that is 2 more weeks until the 1000th episode. And so, God willing, as long as I don't need to take a day off between now and the 1000th episode, if I go Monday through Friday like regular, the date tentatively should be Monday, February 7th for the 1000th episode. So pretty exciting in itself, right? Then we actually have a date. Okay, so I did mention in the beginning when we first started talking about this that there would be a cutoff date to when the last entries would be accepted for the 1000th episode. And that is because I am going to need some time to organize everybody's stories, put them together, print them out, get them in a sequence that makes sense in order to read everybody's story live on air on the 1000th episode and follow up with a blog post sharing everyone's stories on there so that you have the ability to go back and read them at your leisure too. I think it's going to be incredibly special, but you know, as I'm thinking about all of this, I realize that I'm not thrilled with the way I worded it when I first made the call to invite everybody to participate. I'm concerned that I focused on me and I didn't mean to. I want to share what the show has meant to you, or what, you know, the problem with being a brand and being a human being as a brand is that there's some crossover between talking about yourself and talking about what you do, you know what I mean? And so as I'm sitting here preparing for it, I'm worried that on the 1000th episode, I've asked everybody to tell me how great I am, and I'm going to have to read paragraphs of how great I am. That was never my intention. My intention was to say, you know, what has the show meant to you? What has following me and my mission and what I share and my platform, what has being a part of my world meant to you? Which I don't want to sound like I'm full of myself at all when I talk about this, so I've started to get nervous, you know me. And so I added an extra call to the invitation form and said, if you had to explain the show to someone else who's never watched it before, how would you explain it to them? And so I thought that that was a really interesting thing to ask. And so I'm giving myself a week to put it all together, so don't worry about that. And I'll explain in a second. If you would like to fill out a second form and add your answer to that question, you can. That's one of the reasons why I've given myself a week to a cutoff date, a week off, so that I have the ability to then put everybody's entries together. If you would like to add a second form, I will combine it with your original one. Some people have already written more than once anyway, so it's something that I already have to do. So I will be printing out all the forms, getting them in alphabetical order to start with, in order to make sure that any people's duplicate entries or addendum entries are together with their original. So since I'm already doing that, if you would like to add a second entry to answer the question, how would you describe the Kristin Omdahl Show, aka Yarn on the Beach, aka the Create, Share, Inspire podcast, if you would like to share your answer to that question, you are welcome to, and I will combine it with your original entry. Now, this is also filled out your form yet to share your story for the 1000th episode, and you would still like to, you have another week to do it. So next Friday will be the cutoff date. Does anybody know the date for next Friday? I don't recall. I'm guessing it might be Friday, January 28th. Is that correct? Can anybody confirm that with me? I'll write it out specifically in the email that I'm going to send out today. Thanks, Anna. Yeah, so Friday, January 28th will be the deadline. If you would like to, and again, no pressure. If you don't want to share a word with me, that is fine. And if you still want to watch the episode and hear everybody else's stories, that is totally fine too. There is no pressure here, no obligation whatsoever. But if you've already entered and your story and you're fine, done. If you would like to add an addendum with answering this question, how would you describe the show to someone who's never watched it? That would be fantastic. I would love to hear your answer to that. But if you don't want to share it, that's fine too. Is there an 11th season for Knit and Crochet? Now, there should be a 12th season now, actually. And I actually have an announcement to make about that today too. I don't know if I should make the announcement today or not. No contracts have been signed yet, but I might have an announcement. Okay, yeah, so if you have anything else you want to share, sometimes when we write things, you have a first draft and then you come up with ideas after that. So I'm letting you know if you would like to add to your entry. You are welcome to write again this week. I will try to organize all of the entries in the following week alphabetically to make sure I get everybody's stories combined. And then after that, I will put them in an order that I see fit to share them live. And I will share all of the stories live on camera. You will probably want Kleenex. Some of them are going to be extremely emotional. Some of them are going to be funny. Some will be emotional. Some will be silly. And if you want to share some of your favorite highlights over the years, what are some of the shows that made you laugh or were silly, or what do you remember the most? Like, anything you want to share is good. And so anything you want to share, if you want to add, if you've already entered and you want to add something else, go for it. I'm telling you, I will organize it. That's why I'm giving myself a week deadline from when I will accept the last entries to when I will be sharing them, because I have a feeling it's going to take me a while to get everything put together, because like I said, there's already some addendums already, so I want to make sure that I do it right and give myself the time to do a good job. Okay, does anybody have any questions about any of that? If you're on my mailing list, I'll send you an email about it later today. If you're not, Judy has shared a link to the invitation form already. It's on a blog post on my website, and it will also be in the link will also be in the show notes. If you don't want to go check that link live right now, it'll be in the show notes when we're done this morning too. But if you have questions, please feel welcome to ask me right now, because I'm more than happy to explain things to you or whatever. And if the weather permits, we will definitely be at the beach for the 1000th episode. And if it's raining, I guess we'll go from there. I don't know. But it's going to be special. And I'm making a big deal about it. I haven't made a big deal about any of the milestones up to now. I always said that I just wanted 1000 was the first milestone that meant something to me. Why? I don't know. but it's absolutely surreal that I'm here now talking about being 10 episodes out. Like, it's just completely surreal. Hi, Edna. Good morning. Does anybody have any questions? For those of you that are wondering, I am wearing the Savannah knit lace vest this morning. Or not knit lace, knit textured vest. I love this vest. I wear it all the time, don't I? Wearing it over my, over one of my Lucky Brand eBay finds. One of my blouses that I love to buy on eBay. I love vintage Lucky Brand blouses, and they don't make them like this anymore, and so I love buying them used on eBay anytime I can. So this is the best. I also brought 2 pieces this morning because I couldn't decide what to wear. So this one's for anybody interested in a knit pattern. And then I also brought my Aubrey crochet shawl. Remember, we blocked this one for a second time the other night. I thought wearing it over this cream colored blouse with my butterfly clip would be so pretty too. Look at that. And my favorite way to wear a triangular shawl is offset and clipped. Those of you that have been following me a long time know this is my favorite way to wear a triangular shawl. Looks more like a poncho or a cape this way, so I've offset the triangle point, and I've got that diagonal line going across my body, and then I have the pin here offset, and I have a little more arm room because I can lift my arm through the side here. One of my favorite ways to wear a triangular shawl. And when you wear contrast colors like this, it really allows the stitch work to pop. You can see the stitch work so beautifully when it's layered over a contrast layer. So when I say contrast layer, what does that mean? I'm wearing, you know, a creamy off-white blouse and a dark this is colorway Raisin in Be So Easy yarn. Someone's asking what color this is. This is color Putty in Be So Easy yarn. And the reason why I wore this blouse for this one, first of all, it's textured, so you weren't going to really see through it, right? But this blouse is actually a creamy off-white, but it has a print in like a taupey light gray. And I thought picking up on that two-tone pattern with one of the colors in the vest, I thought that was really pretty too, in a completely different way, right? So in this one I'm talking about high contrast, but then with a low contrast, it's actually really pretty too. So it just depends. It depends on your aesthetic, what look you're going for, and your mood. Like, this would also be great over a pop of color too. I could wear this vest over one of my darker purple or burgundy blouses. The contrast would be beautiful, but I also love that low contrast of picking up a color in your blouse and wearing a layer over the top that actually matches one of the colors, because then you're more looking at the texture contrast rather than the color contrast. Whereas with something that's a high contrast in color, you're focusing on whatever the contrast is, I think is where your eye actually goes. So if the colors are not contrasted, then Edna, that's a great question. Yes, you could make this shawl in Be So Fine yarn. The beauty of a top-down triangular shawl, especially when the pattern is written to explain to you how to continue on in pattern, should you choose to make more rows, is that it's a perfect candidate for doing other weight yarns. So obviously in a thick yarn like this is number 5 bulky weight yarn, you'll need less rows to get this length. In a thinner yarn, whether it's Be So Baby number 3, Be So Vivid number 4, Be So Sporty or Be So Luxe number 2, or Be So Fine number 1, any of those will require more rows with a smaller hook to get this length, to get the same size. However, I know that that's a very valid question and a very valid request, and that's why I make a point to not just tell you how to make the actual shawl the way I made it, but I also say if you want to continue in pattern, and I explain this in the pattern, in the chart, and in the video tutorial. For this one specifically, it's repeat rows 6 to 11 for the pattern repeat. And then even in the edging video, I go so far as to say, if you're making more of this pattern, repeat rows 6 to 11, then to get to the edging, when you start the edging, repeat rows 6 through something, and then do the final 2 rows in edging. So I'm very aware of the fact that that's a huge benefit to a pattern, to be that flexible. And when you're doing a top-down construction, you should be able to do that with any pattern, mix and match yarns for different looks and different aesthetics. And so I'm fully aware that that is very valuable information, and that's why I try to always add that to my patterns, because I want you to be able to do something more than once. If you like a pattern and you liked working it, or let's say you wanted to get the stitches down on a thicker yarn and then move up to a thinner yarn, which adds a little more challenge to it. If you're seasoned in thin yarns, it's not, but it also gives you a lot more value to the price you paid for a pattern if you can do it in different ways too. I'm missing comments while I talk. Okay, I don't. Hi Rennie, good morning from Spain. So glad you could be here. Edna's excited, wonderful, I'm so glad. Yeah, so the pattern, the charts, and the videos all explain to you how to slightly modify this pattern, or how to continue on in pattern. It's not a modification, how to continue on in pattern if you want to make it bigger, or use a thinner yarn, which will require more rows to get the same size. Does everybody understand that? Does anybody have any more questions? Hi Rita, good morning. Yes, great point, Judy. Someone mentioned they wanted to share their projects on Instagram. Absolutely share your projects on Instagram, and absolutely tag me when you do. You can also share your projects on my website. I have a wonderful section of the website where you can see other people's projects, and I make sure to tag which yarns and which patterns they used if they inspire you to make the same thing or to make something similar. Also, yeah, another great reminder now, since my concussion, I haven't haven't been super active on the forum. I'm sorry about that, but you all still can be. We've got that 100% private, awesome forum on my website. You can chat with each other there, even DM each other there, and there's a section where you can share your projects so that everybody else can see what you've made with my yarn and patterns, and also where you can go to see what other people have made and get inspired by other people's projects too. So much inspiration, so many different ways you can get inspired there. And like I said, when applicable, I share links so that you can find what they used as well. All right, so we talked about the 1000th episode and the deadline, and if you want to make an addendum to your stories. Oh, thank you, Eve. Yes, I've been sharing some compilation videos, putting together little clips of my day. I used to do this years ago. For those of you that have been following me a long time on Instagram, I used to do 15 Moments with Kristin video compilations where I picked 15 moments of my day and put them together as video compilations and try to keep them under 60 seconds. So I guess I was doing it before TikTok was around, and now I'm on TikTok and been doing it on TikTok and then sharing them for anybody who follows me on Instagram and YouTube. YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and then TikTok videos as well. But I know a lot of people are really excited about seeing those little glimpses into my day and seeing how much I multitask, and I'm happy to share it. I meant to do it yesterday, but Becker was so darn cute during my lunch break, and between the rain and Becker coming to enjoy my smoothie with me, I actually stopped working on my compilation video yesterday and just shared that special moment instead. But I want to try to do it at least a couple days a week. I do love giving people the opportunity to see a glimpse into my world. I get a lot of emails and comments, and have for years, that it looks like I just sit around, eat bonbons, and play with yarn all day. And there's so much more to what I do than that. So it is fun to share how many steps there are behind the scenes. And I don't know, I think it's fun to see behind the scenes of any person's life, because there's always so much more to someone's life than what you see on camera. And I'm still not sharing all of it, you know. I still only try to share the positive things most of the time, unless I think it's a learning experience for everybody. Then I try to be more vulnerable and share the negative side as well. But for the most part, I try to only share the positive sides. But I know a lot of you enjoy seeing the behind the scenes, and I'm totally happy sharing it with you. So it's been super fun and kind of exhausting too. I watch them and go, dang, I didn't even show everything I did. Anyway, okay, Joan was asking about the vest. Judy just posted a live link to the pattern for you, and it is Be So Easy yarn in Color Putty. And if you follow the link that Judy provided to the pattern page, it will tell you everything you need to know there as well. Thank you, Carrie. I'm glad you like to watch the behind the scenes videos. I do want to start a list somewhere to get your requests for what you would like to see as far as business tips also. I'm very interested to see if people want to learn more about how I want me to share photography editing, video editing, how I put books together, how I put patterns together, marketing, all of that stuff. There's so many different parts of my day that I have never shared. And whether you're interested in side hustle, whether you're interested in starting your own small business, or maybe you're just interested and fascinated with more behind the scenes, I do want to share more of my tips and experience. So we'll got to figure out how to organize all that and how to figure out what everybody is interested in. However, maybe I just start doing it. I still want to share videos on showing you how I make crochet and knit charts too. I think that's interesting, the whole graphic design side of it. I am feeling the urge to start working on more fabric designs right now too. I'm getting a really strong urge to draw again, and instead of drawing on paper and pen, I'm more interested in drawing digitally on my iPad with the pen now, which is so cool, because when I do, the iPad or the app that I use, Procreate, will actually save a video of it so that I can show you the process of how I went from my first line to the finished drawing, so our illustration. So I think that will be really fun to share once I finally start doing that. Yeah, Judy, that's a great point. If any of these subjects interest you and you would like to share your requests now, as soon as the show is recorded, you are welcome to leave your comments on this show and tell me what types of those other subjects you'd be interested in me sharing, because I've been doing this 20 years now. Almost 20 years, and at least certain aspects of it, and I would love to know what you would like me to share. I've been lots of requests to show you how to dye yarn over the years, and I am working on that behind the scenes. The thing is, on any given day, whatever I'm telling you, there's 20 other things going on behind the scenes that are in progress at different stages. The new book, the new classes, and the new XYZ that I can't say yet, and the sneak peeks that I almost said today, but I think I'll save for another day. Yeah, and I guess I could start a forum post. That's a great idea, Judy. Because I've been thinking, should it be Google Sheets? Should it be this? Should it be that? I will start something in the forums, and when I start it in the forums today, and I send out the email about the gentle reminder and the updates on the 1000th episode, I will also share a link to which forum post I start, asking you to share what other things you would like me to start sharing. And I am a little backed up on the interview series, but I want you to know that we're working really hard behind the scenes to catch up with all the people that have been nominated. A lot of you have nominated your favorite makers, and because I'm still healing from a concussion, I'm just a little bit slower than normal, a lot slower than normal at catching up on everything. So I'm a couple weeks behind on getting on interviews right now. I don't know how often I will be releasing them, but the first two came out back to back on Fridays. I don't anticipate doing an interview every Friday, but I do anticipate doing them regularly. So we'll just see how many people are nominated versus how many people actually do make it to the interview stage. We'll see. But if you do have more makers, and you can nominate more than one person as well, but we do need to contact them and get everything sorted and then get it scheduled. So there is a process to all of that as well. But please feel welcome to keep nominating your favorite makers. And just so you know, I am focusing more on small makers at the moment instead of super famous people. Not that I'm super famous, I'm kind of in the middle, maybe even on the low end of being famous as far as numbers go. But my platform is very important to me, and my platform is bigger than some makers, and so I love the opportunity to be able to share my platform and my audience with really interesting people that maybe have significantly small followings than I do. And in time, I may move into bigger makers as well, but you already know them, and you already see interviews with them. And so far, I feel like thanks to you for nominating them. Cheryl Floyd and Martha O'Million were absolutely spectacular women to have discovered through your nominations, and I would really like to continue in this thread for now. We may switch that up and go on to some more famous people. I realize I started with the most famous maker, Vanna White, last year, but that was for a different reason altogether. And now my passion and my interest is in finding people that are special that we don't already know. We already know the famous ones. Let's find some people and introduce each other to other special makers too. Yeah, Beth, well, we're still vetting everybody, so I'm not going to share the list at this point, but you can definitely, if you're looking for a list of all the makers, what you could definitely do is search on my blog by interview category. If you search by interview category, I always follow up each interview video with a blog post about the person and then sharing all their links, and I categorize all of them as interviews. So if you go to my blog and search by the filter interview, there you will always find all the interviews that have been done so far. Vanna is an amazing human being, and she does a lot of charity work too. I really respect Vanna White a lot, and I was so honored to get to interview her last year. If you get a chance and if you didn't get a chance to watch that interview, you can. It's here on my YouTube channel, and there, like I said, there's a blog post on my website with the video embedded and information on the project that she was promoting at that time, as well as where you can find out more information about her. But then there's also Cheryl Floyd now, and there's Martha O'Million, and like I said, I've taken a little bit of a break trying to get back to my regular schedule as I'm healing from a concussion, and hopefully should have some more interviews planned and recorded next week, which means shortly thereafter they will get released again. So, wow, we really went over today. Oh well, we had to go check out that sandbar, so that's totally fine. If you end up having more questions today, please always feel welcome to come back and leave them for me in the comments. And like I said, I will be sending out an email later today sharing more information about everything we talked about today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the Driftwood Forest, our little walk and adventure, chatting with me and everyone else, the sunshine, the sunrise, the water, the sound of the waves. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. Make some time for self-care this weekend, and I will see you Monday for the next episode of the Kristin Omdahl Show. Bye-bye.